Hey boys, welcome back to some more real life NRL discussions, and of course in this video we're going to be talking about State of Origin Game 2, giving my preview and overall thoughts about how things could go. On a quick note, first off, I actually really like the standalone weekend for Origin and also some internationals to be played. Last year I was a little skeptical. I'm like, I'll miss the regular NRL action, but it's better. Like, it's way fairer for the NRL competition because teams that are affected heavily aren't as screwed over every year, and it's just a good weekend. Like, it just feels, I don't know, Wednesday's been, it's just Origin Wednesday now, but it just seems more natural to have a State of Origin football game on a Sunday, or if they did it like on some weekend, I think it's a good idea. And also the fact that they can do the weekend with these international games. I mean, Fiji, Papua New Guinea was a great game. Tonga Samoa was unreal. I didn't actually watch the England-New Zealand game because it was over in Denver, but I think that was a pretty good game as well. Like, it probably fairly high scoring and showcase the game pretty well. But yeah, just getting these nations to play more is a good thing, and it means that there's still footy on, so I'm very happy with it. So let's get to the main point of this. So I didn't get a chance to make a video after game 1. Obviously the Blues won, and they won, they won comfortably in the end, although personally, obviously, Blues are going to go in heavy favourites, but the Queensland were not far off that game. Like, obviously, I'm going to be biased because I'm Queenslander, but I did feel like that was a game where the 50-50 calls did go with New South Wales, in my opinion, in that game. New South Wales fans are probably saying this has been like that for the last 8 years or so, but it just seemed like there were a few 50-50 ones that went against Queensland. I still think New South Wales, they were the better team, and I think they deserved to win. But for, the end of that first half and then the start of the second half, Queensland was so far on top. Like, New South Wales weren't getting out of the end. Queensland scored a quick try to take the lead, and then a lost ball from Gagai, I think it was, which, I personally, I don't think that was really a 50-50 call. Like, in the NRL, they probably would have given a penalty, but obviously State of Origin, they're a little bit lenient with all that sort of stuff. I still think he just dropped it, but that pretty much changed the momentum. Like, New South Wales just ran away with it from there, but Queensland, I thought they played pretty well. I think, honestly, the main difference for the Blues was Tedesco. Tedesco was unreal. He played extremely well. I don't think, like, the halves really, I mean, honestly, I don't think Maloney played very well. Like, it's so weird. Like, they kept talking Maloney up all game, although he came up with some of the worst errors you'll see. And I mean, let's be real, that pass he threw to Addo Carr was definitely forward for that try. But I don't think Maloney played that well. I thought Cleary was solid without being amazing. You look at Queensland, I thought Munster was pretty good. Ben Hunt, I said in my preview for game 1 that I still don't really think Hunt should be the halfback. I thought he was okay, but he just doesn't have the, when you get to the, just Queensland in attack, they didn't have that fluidity. They didn't have the cohesion, really. They don't have that dominant ball player, which I think Cherry Evans would provide. But yeah, I thought the halves were pretty even. The outside backs I thought were pretty even, barring, well, Greg Inglis just was easily Queensland's best player. He was ridiculous. Inglis is back. He was so good. Some of the shots he put on, shot on Trbojevic was unreal. Just fucking leveled him. I was a bit annoyed that he got pinged for offside, because, yeah, if you look at the high shot, he was offside, but there were, like, that whole game, the teams were not onside. Basically, the whole game, they were all getting off the line super quick. So I thought it was a little ridiculous they pinged him for that one instance, but I mean, obviously, letter of the law, he was offside, but you know, they could have pinged a lot more. That's all I'm going to say about that. But the main one here, Latrell Mitchell definitely dominated Will Chambers, which I was worried about, because Chambers, although he is a solid player, he doesn't quite have the speed of, or not really, like, he's quick, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens game 2. Mitchell, he definitely played pretty well. I still think Queensland can sort of target the outside backs a bit more, because obviously they defended well, but I mean, Roberts and Mitchell are not the best defenders. Obviously game 1, it worked pretty well for them, but they can make some pretty bad reads. So I think Queensland are a little smarter. They can definitely target the outside backs a bit more in game 2, but yeah, the rest of the back line I thought was pretty similar. I mean, I thought Gagai was solid, Holmes was solid, Inglis obviously amazing, Jabojevic, Addo-Carr was good, and then Mitchell was outstanding, but Roberts was pretty quiet, so he was sort of like the Will Chambers. He didn't really do anything wrong, but he didn't really get into the game. And then the forward pack, I thought Queensland's forwards were actually stronger than the Blues on the night, in all honesty. Obviously, the one change for the Blues is Campbell Gillard is out, with Matt Pryor coming into the team, who I think that is like a big loss, although Pryor, he's a solid player. Like, I think Pryor will do a good job, but Campbell Gillard is, he's one of the standout forwards, so that's a big loss. Obviously, the other thing I forgot to mention, well, for Queensland, Billy Slater comes back in, which is huge, and it also shifts Kalen Ponga to the bench, which, I'm not sure how they're going to play Ponga. He's obviously a freak, and he'd come on and change the game for sure, but he's a fullback. Potentially he could play in the halves, obviously, but if there's no injury, where are they going to bring him on? Because it's going to be tough for Walters. Like, I think the way to use him is definitely the back end of the first half. You've got to bring him on. Players are going to be tired. It's not going to be quite as physical. So it's a good chance to bring him into the game and potentially break it open. And then, probably bring him back nearing the end of the game as well. I think that's probably the best way to use him. Although, if you shift him into, like, actually something they might do is McCulloch obviously could get a rest. Ben Hunt actually moves to dummy half, and Ponga just moves into sort of a half role, which I think that could actually work pretty well, because Ben Hunt, I thought actually, again, I don't think he's that good a halfback. He's solid, but I actually thought he was pretty good coming on for McCulloch. Well, he switched to dummy half and McCulloch went off. He just provided a little bit extra spark out of there. He obviously kicked the 40-20, and he looked pretty good at dummy half, honestly. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that sort of shift and bring Ponga into the halves for a bit of the game. But the rest of the forwards, I thought, Jared Wallace obviously had a pretty bad game. Cooper, okay. I still don't think Cooper should be there. Personally, I think Papali should go into the starting side, and someone else should go onto the bench. Maguire was good. Kafusi was very good. And then the bench, Papali, who I was talking about, I think he was the best forward for Queensland. You'd probably give it to Maguire because he played more minutes, but Papali was outstanding. That's the best game in rep level that I've ever seen Papali play. He was a monster out there. I've never seen him run so hard off the kickoffs, and some of his defense, he was whacking blokes. Like, Papali was unreal. I just couldn't believe he didn't get more game time. Like, Papali's a guy that plays 80 minutes for the Raiders every week, but in Origin, I just feel like he's so underused. It blows my mind. I thought Coleman Hess was solid, and Jai Arrow I thought was very good. I actually thought when Queensland's bench forwards came on, they looked a lot stronger. And I thought they changed the game a bit. Looking at the Blues, I mean, I thought they were all pretty solid. I guess I said the Blues, the main difference was Tedesco. the other main difference was Damien Cook for sure. Like, he's just, oh, I was so hoping they wouldn't pick Cook. I was really hoping they were going to pick Cameron McInnes. That would have been very, very good. But they went with Cook, obviously. He's just such a threat. He's just so quick. As soon as they get a quick play of the ball, he's just out of there. It's very, very dangerous. So that, I mean, they need to shut that down somehow. It's tough, but they got to do it. The rest of the forwards were solid. I mean, Corden was good. Frizzell was good. DeBellin was okay. The bench forwards, Vaughan was okay. I didn't think he was that good. Jake Trbojevic was pretty good. Played big minutes. Angus Crichton was pretty good. And then Tyrone Peachey. I don't know. I didn't really see much of Peachey. He didn't have that much game time. So, again, he's sort of that utility player. Didn't get too much game time. So, yeah, I'm gonna say I think Queensland can fight back and win game 2, but it's gonna be tough. I mean, Blues have the confidence, but we've seen in the past that if they're a little too, they could be. I can just see that their team is full of these young guys, and I just I think they might, the potential is there for them to get a little cocky, a little ahead of themselves. It happened last year, and obviously the big inclusion, Billy Slater is back. Kalen Ponga is in the team. It's going to be a different game for sure. I'm not confident for sure. It's still a very good New South Wales side. I'm still not confident of Ben Hunt playing at halfback, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going for Queensland. I think they can do it, but they need to score more points. That's sort of the bottom line. They just have to starve New South Wales of the ball and just score points. That's it. Because I think the New South Wales team, that they are going to score points. If the Blues have more possession, they'll win the game. I think they've got more points in them. So Queensland really need to be smart with the ball. They need to control possession better. Control the field position, just starve them for the football if it's possible. But we will find out pretty soon. Obviously, this video is going to go up like Sunday afternoon sometime. So game kickoff at around what's it like starts 7 to 8 o'clock. So yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully we win. If we lose, it's going to be a bad night. But yeah, what do you guys reckon? What do you reckon the score is going to be? I'm not even going to give a score because I have no idea, really. It could be anything, but who do you reckon will win? What do you think of the teams? Obviously, the Blues weren't going to change too much, but the Maroons team, a little bit different. Obviously, Scott probably would have got back in if he was fit, but obviously still the injury. But yeah, that's sort of my little preview for Game 2. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see you in the next one.